I was going to put this down. Actually, I'm going to set this right here for 1 second. I'm going to, Matt, just make sure you're on deck because I'm going to be pulling you up in a sec here. Put you on the spot. So I was talking to Blake last night. Blake Resnick, he was one of the speakers. You guys have fun last night? Put your hand up if you listened to Blake speak last night with the drones and all the technologies. Unbelievable, the guest speakers. And so I was talking to Blake, and he's like, what brings you here? I'm like, well, my name's Ryan. I came all the way from Canada, and I'm pitching my company, Kinetisense. And we're actually doing a raise. And do you have any advice for me as an entrepreneur? And he's like I said, man, just look out in the crowd, and if anyone has their shirt off, you're golden. And he says, if everyone has their shirt on, just ask Sinan and he'll take his shirt off. So Sinan, where are you right now? Thanks ahead of time. Thanks for doing that. So hit down to play. Fantastic. Point it there. There we go. So I feel so blessed to be here in front of all of you today. I've had the chance to meet some of you. I want to meet all of you. So if we get a chance to connect later on today, please do. My name is Dr. Ryan Como. I am the CEO and co-founder of a company called Kinetisense, and we are an international award-winning company that actually won the Intel Award for the international developments and that we've had. And we believe that we're changing the game in the world of MSK. That's the musculoskeletal world. That's human movement, right? What do we do as humans? We're meant to move. And we start dying when we stop moving. And that's something that we address. So how do we know how well we move? How do we know how we stand up against the population norms, people that are our gender, our age, our body type, our stature? No one's ever addressed that before. And in the spaces of clinical care, corporate wellness, sports performance, these different areas that look at human performance, we've always been subjectively looking at how these people move, how our kids move, and trying to apply corrective strategies, trying to look at ways that we can improve their functional movement. And it's all been subjective. It's all been theoretical. Can you believe that? Because over 35% of our healthcare resources go towards MSK movement issues. And no one's assessing this. No one's collected population data on this. We're changing that. So these fields here, we're talking about clinical rehabilitation, senior living, corporate wellness, fitness, and tactical. I know that seems like a lot of different areas that we're addressing, but it's all one ecosystem of human movement. So we are looking at the tests that are normally done when we go to our GP, or the tests that are normally done when we look at assessing concussion rehab in a young athlete. They're all being done visually. Can you believe that? We stand there as practitioners, as trainers, as therapists, and we watch someone's posture. We watch how they move, and we try to write down where they stand, and we try to get that information. We're not using any diagnostic tools. It's like going to a cardiologist and having the cardiologist put their hand on your chest and tell you if you have any issues with your heart. So we are the MRI of human movement. And the problem is these archaic and subjective methods of assessment are really having a huge impact on our healthcare system. And we need to have a data-driven approach, an AI-driven approach, machine learning-driven approach that looks at all the data that we collect, and we have one of the largest repositories of human movement data in the world, Kinetisense does, that we own, and we're going to monetize it. And then apply that to the normative, and then look at how that person compares. Imagine that I could do a posture screen on someone. Come on up. I'll put this down here. I could take my iPhone or iPad, because guess what? Kinetisense is now on these commercially available devices that use the 3D sensor. This actually shoots LiDAR onto Matt. We've developed an AI protocol where we can map his body from the front, the side, and overhead with a single front-facing sensor, or my iPhone, right? And I'll sit here, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'll just go add. We'll do a posture snapshot. Just stand there, Matt. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Done. I now have 3D biomechanical data on you on the frontal plane, from the side, and overhead of your joint positioning.
I'm looking a little flabby.
You're looking a little flabby. You're looking a little tilted, man. Okay? It's all right here. All I have to do is hit send, and I can send this directly to him. He can also download our app, and on the app, through AI and machine learning, we're going to send him a set of corrective exercises that are specific to his body dysfunctions that based on norm, and he can work on those and then get reassessed. That's just, dude, you're a surfer, right? I'm going to send you some surfing balance stuff too. So these are the problems we're solving. That's one of 20 modules we have, okay? So we're solving these significant issues using AI data-driven metrics and population norms to then change the way that our youth are standing, moving, that our seniors they're actually dying at an unbelievable rate because of risk of fall. We'll touch on that later. We're solving these issues, and it's called triage reasoning, and it's our way of basically enhancing the decision-making of the therapists, of the medical doctors, you name it. So here's our solution. Again, we're using AI to be able to map the joints in the body without putting anything on the body. We're able to look at functional movement. We're then able to map the joints that need mobility and stability. Again, completely changing the game. Wheelchair assessment, risk of fall, concussion baseline and reassessment. We're changing the game in healthcare. And we're using this with commercially available hardware like the iPad, the iPhone. There's other sensors that we can use. So we are camera agnostic. The active markets that we're in, again, senior living, I'll touch on these. We're working with some of the largest therapy groups in the world. Do you know that over the age of 65, that 50% of those people that fall and fracture their hip, which is very common, will die within 1 year? Significant. Who's had a loved one pass away from a fall? 85% mortality. And if they survive, the quality of life is drastically affected. We have the only gait assessment system that will actually tell you the risk of fall in a senior in the next 12 months. Do you know how we used to gauge risk of fall before? Anyone know? It was based on if they had a significant fall already. It's sad. This day and age, I can't believe it. We're working with some of the largest groups there in fitness, TURSA, ConIQ, some of the biggest groups in fitness. We have a functional movement screen, 12 movements that analyzes human movement. We then map the body. They can then give corrective strategies. Any soccer fans, we're actually building an assessment with Manchester United right now. I fly out there in November. It's a heel raise test that analyzes risk of Achilles tendon rupture. Imagine if Aaron Rodgers had that, right? That's just one example. Corporate wellness, we are an assessment tool for Amazon. Coca-Cola is also using us now. They just signed on a couple of days ago. EMP Longitude 6, Soda, WorkRight. These are groups that are using our system to analyze their employees, give them corrective exercise to prevent injury. In the clinical world, we're working with some of the largest groups. Not on this list, we have the Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic also using us. By the way, we have over 15 CPT codes that these practitioners can bill using Kinetisense, so the ROI on that end is fantastic. And then tactically, this is a space that we are starting to really blow up in. And on Tuesday, I actually fly out to Grand Rapids to meet with some of the decision makers of the DoD, so Department of Defense, and the VA. They want to send these devices to different veterans across the United States so they don't have to travel 10, 15, 20 hours to get to a VA hospital anymore. We can do advanced telerehab. Okay, so we can actually assess, they can have these devices, the doctor can come on remotely and we can assess them because it's costing the VA a lot of money to send these people to the VA hospitals. And then also the travel time, all that stuff. And it's not great for the veteran either. A lot of these veterans are struggling. They don't want to be in a vehicle for 10 hours. We are being used by the US Air Force as well. So we'll talk about traction. 42% compound annual growth rate. We are a tried and true company. The risk with our company is very, very low. The upside is incredibly high. We have a 7% annual churn rate. We're a SaaS-based model. We recently have just hired a new CRO, Mark Stavru. He was the one that developed the growth engine for Equinix, which is an S&P 500 74-quarter record holder right now for growth. He is now our CRO. We are adding some very high-level people into our company to start to scale this. So the solution's there. We just have to get it out to the masses. We have a significant code base. We have trade secrets. It's really the data lake. We have over 2 million assessments, biomechanical assessments worldwide of all different types of body types. We have a patent. on this, and we have a new provisional where we've actually applied advanced triangulation to get three-dimensional data from a 2D assessment. So that would work on any phone. It doesn't have to be three-dimensional. The strategic investor offering, we just started a raise. We're raising $3 million US. We are an American company now. We've set up a US co in Delaware. $15 million US pre-money valuation, which we feel is very, very reasonable. And we are putting this money to implement growth model, build sales leadership, the AA modeling, again, the software development, and really getting the word out there. Again, my email, ryan@kinetisense.com. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or have any interest in investing in our company. I would love to meet with you. Thank you.